It was back to back. Next one was going with the Autobianchi.
The Autobianchi.
Yeah, fun little
To
car.
Was there any differences in how you approached building just such a completely different? I mean, it's hard to get much different between a Jeep and an Autobianchi.
Yeah, very true. We're hitting both ends of the spectrum there. I mean, when I started the Autobianchi, had the Jeep under my belt, but still very green. I knew a Hyper 9 motor wasn't going to fit in the Autobianchi. From the factory, I had a 18 horsepower two-cylinder, I believe, little 500cc.
I
The
didn't know
Autobianchi
that.
it's a rebodied Fiat 500, but electric classic cars had a conversion kit available for the Fiat chassis. So I got in talks with them, and they said, hey, since the Auto Bianchi has been rebodied from a Fiat, not all of their components would fit in the same places, but I was able to utilize their adapter plate and coupler for the HPEV's AC20 motor. So we used the HPEV's AC20 with the Curtis 1238 SE controller,
Okay.
and I was able to fit three Tesla modules in the car. So that charged up to 75 volts with the high voltage cutoff of 75 volts. We did originally keep the gear shift in for the manual transmission, two shift gears, but the customer ended up finding it a little too cumbersome. So what I did is I took the shifter out. I removed the detents in the transmission for the shift forks. I took the springs out for the detents, and I put solid rods in place, locking the transmission in third gear.
Hmm.
So now the transmission is always in third gear, and I added a forward neutral reverse switch, and we just spun the motor backwards for a reverse.
Interesting. And now, did you delete in the interior the entire shift lever completely and just have a switch now?
Yep, yep.
The with such a small amount of space to work with, that must have just really opened it up.
Yes. And the the funny thing here is the Auto Bianchi was restored. I had a full restoration done on it about a year before I got it from our sister company, Motion Products. That car originally was a hardtop, but we had another donor car here that was a convertible, and the customer wanted this one to be a convertible. So we graphed the convertible top onto this Auto Bianchi, deleting the back seat, and we had a huge space now that we were able to utilize for batteries. It worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Did you then put in more than three modules, or is that where you
Now,
put the three?
there's two behind the seats and then one in the front trunk.
What is the horsepower that you're getting out of that motor and those? It's probably more than 18, I would
Yeah, I think it
imagine.
was with the voltage we had, I think it was around 40 horsepower, 40 to
So
50. It
like
was a rocket
doubled.
ship.
0 to 60?
I never timed it, but it was not bad.
Nice. Did you drive it long enough to get a sense of the range? I'm assuming probably around the town grocery getter sort of
Yes.
thing.
I had it up to highway speeds a couple of times, but they really aren't made for that. Range was right around 75 miles, which considering it's about 15 kilowatt hours worth of batteries, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's really good. Now you mentioned that it had already been restored before you
Yep.
started on the conversion. So that really kind of cut out a whole element that you might have had to think of sourcing parts for a classic car like that.
Yep. So Motion Products purchased five or six Autobianchis from a micro car enthusiast local here in Wisconsin with the intent to restore what we could or the ones that were restorable and send them to auction or find customers for them. So we still have a plethora of extra components for these Autobianchis. And I think four of them have been restored and one EV converted now, and we have two more that are just pretty much unsalvageable. They're just spare sheet metal at this point. But
Parts cars.
yep.
When we were first talking a week or so ago, you mentioned a funny story about the Autobianchi. Was that the convertible switch that kind of happened midway through, or was there something else?
No, what everyone should keep in mind is reverse. When you do an electric conversion, electric motors have a lot of torque. Reverse gear in your transmission, if you are utilizing a manual transmission, has a lot of gear reduction.
Hmm.
So the first time I applied the throttle in reverse, I did not have any limitations set in the controller for current. I launched probably 10 feet backwards. Luckily, there was nothing behind
Oh
me,
my gosh.
and it popped out of gear, also, luckily. But just a reminder, set your current limits for reverse.
But now you have completely gotten rid of the reverse and are just
Correct.
running the third gear in reverse.
Yep.
I didn't know that
So
you could do that. I would have assumed that that would be bad for the gear.
there's so little torque being applied in reverse, and you're typically just parking or reversing out of a parking lot or a parking spot or out of your garage and then going forward again. We've done it on two vehicles now and haven't had any issues with it.
Nice. So this is vehicle number two knocked out of the park.
Yep.
Were you feel it starting to feel a little bit more comfortable doing the conversions or
Oh yeah, my confidence at this point when this one got done, not shooting through the roof, but it was getting pretty close.
yeah.
I was very impressed with how the Autobianchi turned out. Even like aesthetically, it's pleasing to the eye, at least to me. It turned out the driving experience very fun, quirky car, gets a lot of attention, and it looked the part. So
The technical specs, just to kind of recap on that, it was a Curtis controller with an what is it, HPEV?
yeah, HPEVS. I don't know how people actually what they call it. I just call HPEVs,
The
high
HPEV.
performance electric vehicles.
So that's the motor, Curtis
Yeah,
controller, 3 Tesla modules, dilithium BMS.
yeah. And then Thunderstruck, onboard charger, and DC to DC converter.
Solid. What was next on your path of conversions?